familiar with Emaru, but to call her a Zionist, to call her, all of these horrible things, it's
And once again, I would like to make this very clear. It's not an insult to call someone a Zionist. But what the internet pretends what being a Zionist is an insult. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
just like, dude, chill out. It is not that deep. Anyone that went out of their way to throw hate at her or send her hate or death threats or whatever, you're a fucking loser. Then this tweet went extremely viral. This guy says, woman who hangs out with every rapist she meets, I think Israel's are fun.
Now, here's a fun little fact about Gorbachev. This tweet got 60,000 likes, by the way. This is Hassan's head moderator on his Twitch and his Discord. That's how brainwashed these people are. That's how comfortable people have thrown out the word rapist. This is why the internet has become so comfortable pushing out false allegations, is due to streamers like Hassan. It's disgusting, and trust me, they will be punished for that very, very, very soon. What a surprise. Yeah, the insane person who called it Emaru after she briefly mentioned Ethan Klein's lawsuit is a Twitch and Discord moderator. Yep, already knew this, already saw the facts. Are we surprised? No, not really. This is Hassan's community. There is no one more reflective of a streamer and a streamer's chat than by their head moderators. It's the truth, guys. It's the truth. If you want to deny that Hassan's own community is a massive problem, you can. However, understand that you are wrong, and these are what he wants his people to do. It's disgusting. It really, really, really is disgusting.
Fine. Once again, Palestine nor Israel were mentioned here. The only reason why this became an Israel conversation is because Ethan is from Israel, or Jewish. So this wasn't a topic about Palestine versus fucking Israel for the billionth fucking time. And that was enough for this tweet to get fucking 60,000 likes and 2 million views. I guess that's a new Nazi. Back in the day, if the Twitter retards didn't like you, you would be a Nazi. But then that kind of died down with Kanye going crazy and him becoming a black Nazi. So now it's like, okay, we don't like you, so you're a rapist.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bro. Whatever helps you cope. How do you jump to this conclusion? How do you go from Palestine, Israel, Jews, money, Frogan, copyright lawsuit to rapists? What? Where are these losers spawning from so we could...
And what does that even mean? This woman hangs out with rapists. Don't you think that would mean that we should be worried for her? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's not good, because wouldn't that mean, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that not be good? So I don't even know why 2 million people, 60,000 people liked that shit. They're calling her a rapist sympathizer. Yeah, that's just not, I don't know how the fuck anybody gets to that conclusion. It's actually wild, because now the internet is so brain dead, even I, the lord of the brain dead, am fucking stun locked. Holy shit.
Good, put an end to it. We're good. Permanently. And I'm sure some fucking guy's gonna take this and be like, oh, sensitive society threatens to kill someone. H3 Snark and Lefty Twitter have now set their sights on Emaru after she gave a brief and mild take on the Ethan lawsuits.
Yes, people reacting maliciously should be held accountable. Hey, guys, this chick's a rapist.
Don't worry, Emaru. Sense is here to the rescue, all right? Just wait for me. I'll be there in a second. First, I gotta tell...
What's above that? You know what I mean? Because, rapist is probably, what is that, top 3 worst things to be called? There's got to be something worse, right? What do you think the worst crime that you can commit is? Pedophile? You think a pedophile? Well, actually, yeah, because then pedophile implies a child rapist. Murder is the worst IMO? No, cannibalism dude, it's way worse.
Tell people to subscribe to this channel. Guys, listen to Ludwig. Now we can continue. So here we have the Reddit post, and I could smell this post from 30 computers away. Emaru, the woman who had a podcast with Asmongold and Tectone? I'm shocked. Who cares if she had a podcast with Asmongold and Tectone?
Well, it's because they're augmented reality of what they believe me and Asmon are, right? That's the issue. Right, is that these people have pretended that me and Asmon are these fucking unforgivable, insurmountable fucking monsters who've committed heinous crimes, that they see me appearing in a feature flick as a horror monster, right? It's pathetic how weak these people are.
Like, how is that relevant at all?
When in reality, do you know what me and Asmon are? Two guys who tell the fucking truth. Isn't that so horrifying in 2025?
Tectone and Asmongold killed someone, that they sacrificed a baby. Like, why is the hate boner for them so fucking strong on YouTube, on Twitter, on Reddit? The levels of pygmy this girl has resorted to is insane, lol. And yes, you can do that. The platform you and your friends have made millions on wouldn't exist otherwise. It's not that we don't want reactions. It's that we are sick and tired, and we is a lot of people. But the main point of that law.
So what's happening right now, Sens, is that Hassan has misconstrued the argument and attacked his. We back. I believe we're talking about the journalist. Who's this about? Who's this
Before
about?
this video started,
Who f***ed around and found out Sensitive Society? By the way, one of the
line with the line because I am messing with the
Yeah, this is not iDubbbz's girlfriend. Yeah, this is a whole different monster, bro. Holy shit, what the fuck am I looking at?
Kotaku journalist, a former Kotaku journalist.
Bro looks like the Sith IRL. Like, are you telling me this doesn't get?
If you're a fan of seeing idiots speedrunning into prison, this must be like Christmas for you. As remember the guy throwing rocks at the cops during the ICE raids? Well, he was quickly caught. And as the driver was injured, he's now facing up to 8 years in federal prison. And even the tamer instances of obstructing ICE, as just outside Los Angeles, these two medical workers got in the feds' faces. And as mild as that was, that guy was actually arrested. Not only did they detain the dude, but they also found...
There is huge censorship going on in gaming right now. I'm sure a lot of you saw Steam a few days back announced that hundreds of games have been pulled from their catalog because of the efforts of a group known as Collective Shout. Collective Shout is an organization that has been forcing payment processors to bully platforms into removing games they deem unfit for sale due to the themes around them. And for Steam's case, they targeted hundreds of adult games that featured, like, rape and incest. And a lot of people were pumping their fists like, yeah, that's good. How could you possibly be mad at that? Less degeneracy and disgusting shit on the platform. This is a big W across the board. It's not censorship if it's things I don't like being taken down. Obviously, like every weapon out there, this is only going to be used for good. Clearly, they're only going to use this power to take down very bad, gross things, which is the most low IQ take you could ever have. Collective Shout just yesterday has now also gone after itch.io, and they have removed every single not suitable for work game from their platform. Not just rape and incest games, all adult games. We have de-indexed all adult NSFW content from our browsing search pages. We understand this action is sudden and disruptive, and we are truly sorry for the frustration and confusion caused by this change. Recently, we came under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted on itch.io. Due to a game titled No Mercy, which was temporarily available on itch.io before being banned back in April, the organization Collective Shout launched a campaign against Steam and itch.io directing concerns to our payment processors about the nature of certain content found on both platforms. So this is like here. Collective Shout is a very powerful organization who somehow has a lot of leverage on payment processors. I don't know if they're just over there giving them perpetual wet willies or they got some serious dirt dirt on like the upper echelon elites of the food chain at the payment processors. Like they got proof for the Epstein files or some shit. They've got these payment processors by the nutsack, and they are squeezing the piss from their balls. So now the payment processors are larging as the moral authority on what people are allowed to spend the money they earn on. So they're making these sweeping censorship changes to Steam and itch.io. Steam, they made it very easy for the public to not make a big stink about it because they went after a very low-hanging fruit target that most people aren't going to be upset about. Oh no, you lost all your rape and, incest games. Boo-hoo. Call the fucking ambulance. What people don't realize is that is clearly just the first step here. Collective Shout has now already taken, which hasn't even been like a full week, and it's translated it to wiping all adult content from itch.io, a totally separate platform using the same methodology of having the payment processors threaten. Censorship is not something that is a good thing. This is not a positive thing. Yoko Taro also came forward and said, like, this is pretty bad stuff, that other countries can now limit everyone else's free speech. He's right. That's not great. You don't like to see that. And let's go ahead and extend this to its natural conclusion. As Collective Shout becomes more and more successful at censoring games, other organizations will spring up and do the same for things Collective Shout maybe doesn't want to see censored. Like, who's to say that this censorship, now that it's proven that it can be done by having the payment processors threaten to pull out these servers to pull out payment processors, who's to say an organization doesn't pop up that wants to take away all kinds of LGBTQ representation in games. And now that they have a proven formula to follow, they could easily spring up and be probably very successful. Another organization could come about where they believe that in-rated games shouldn't exist. Games should be focused
Clearly you needed some help.
They shouldn't be
You get a load of my
They could even be a charitable organization that comes forward making similar pushes for censorship. I don't know how delusional you have to be to think that somehow this is only ever going to be used against bad things. It's not. And it's already extended way beyond what it started with for Collective Shout. They started with a very easy win on a genre of games that most people aren't really going to miss. And they have already extended that to just broad adult content from another platform. Follow that blueprint, follow those footsteps, and be successful as well, censoring other things that maybe Collective Shout doesn't want to see censored. It's going to just be fucking pandemonium because it is clear now that these platforms are willing to go belly up, roll over, and suck the fucking meat of the payment processing cartel that shackles them. These payment processing patriots who all of a sudden care so deeply about morality are able to get these platforms to censor themselves at the behest of the organizations that are strong-arming them. It's absurd, and it doesn't stop there. If you do any amount of research on Collective Shout, you'll see that it's not just like adult games. They also went after Detroit Become Human and Grand Theft Auto 5 for absolutely fucking outlandish reasons. Like, this is actual bullshit. And another scary fact, the article I was reading on Steam, I'm going to show you clips from so you can see about their previous attempts to go after things like Detroit Become Human and GTA 5. That article that I was reading got taken down 8 hours after stream because Play Steam was a little too controversial because the article wasn't super favorable to Collective Shout. So Collective Shout not only has pull in censoring games, but it looks like they can even take down some articles that are a little, harsh on how they're going about their mission or what they're trying to do here. In other words, it seems virtually impossible for Steam to host any adult games depicting child abuse. Rather, Collective Shout may be targeting popular video games that depict children in scenarios where they face distress or harm, even if these depictions are intended to encourage concern and care in the player. Some organization may be describing these titles as teaching child abuse. In 2018, Collective Shout encouraged its supporters to petition to ban the maximum pulse! Child abuse and violence against women. The petition focused on an abusive father's violent behavior towards his daughter in the game. This dynamic, so the character of Kara's story arc, is intended to encourage empathy for the abused woman and child. While it's unclear whether Collective Shout is actively targeting Detroit Become Human in 2025, the removal of such a game would be akin to artistic censorship of material, discussing misogynistic abuse against female family members. Targeting the game, in other words, could be considered anti-feminist and intent. That doesn't really make any sense. In 2014, the organization called on Target to remove Grand Theft Auto 5 from store shelves, sharing a petition that claims the game encourages players to commit sexual violence and kill women. Collective Shout described GTA as if it were a misogynistic funhouse, stating the game lets players enact their fantasies of committing extreme violence against women, including punching women to the point of unconsciousness, killing them with a bat, gun, or machete, running them down with a car, and setting them on fire as they continue screaming. What? All their all this is only reserved and acceptable if it's men. If you're killing men with a bat, gun, and machete, running them down with the car and setting them on fire as they scream. These arguments are so weak and flimsy, and I think just downright detrimental to what they claim their mission is. This would basically, like these two things in conjunction, would make it so like most games won't even put women in there. So let's take the first example about like how children in like distress is something that they would target to try and take down. That's why they went after Detroit Become Human. Let's extend that scope. Things like Limbo, Last of Us, Out of Sight, like these games where there are kids present and they do go through like hardship, that would be removed under their guidelines. In Detroit Become Human, it's not like they're trying to glorify this as a goal. It is used as a way of showcasing how bad a situation is and getting empathy from the player for what is happening to these characters. And yet, they want to take it down, even though it is used to deliver positive messaging to the player. It's like they don't want any deep themes in their games, and not only that, it's like they don't want women to even be interactable in the game. So also something that wouldn't fly under their protocol here would be things like Tomb Raider. Any game where a female is leading it wouldn't really be possible because the women in the game are going to go through distress. Like Lara Croft goes through a lot worse than what they listed for GTA 5 being a misogynistic funhouse. Lara Croft gets scared in so many different ways potentially to fail certain things. She's constantly being hunted, hurt. It's all like pretty much no game with a female character could be made of collective getting this much power. It's a fucking absurd notion. God of War, the new God of War, those games couldn't be made because Kratos' son obviously goes through a lot. That would be a child in a harmful, distressing situation. It would be poo-pooed by collective generation.
Maximum pulse!
Like, their real reason is not acceptable are just again, this would fundamentally like scrub women from video games. Like, I don't know why they're not grasping that concept. They call GTA 5 a misogynistic funhouse because you can hurt women in it and that kind of thing, which you can also do to men. But the issue is exclusively because women can also be hurt in GTA 5, just like the men. It's not like GTA 5 is telling the player, you have to go commit these sexual violent acts against women right now. We need you as the player to score 100 sexual violent crimes against our women in the city right now. Go out there. That's the quest. Go fucking slap 1,000 women for maximum turbo gamer points. Like, it's pretty fucking crazy. So basically, if you are going to have women in the games, the only way I see that even be possible with collective shouts, groundwork they're laying here, the way I understand it, is if every female in the game is immortal, God mode activated, and uninteractable outside of dialogue and cutscenes, but the female character also cannot go through anything distressing or deep. Basically has to just be like a completely flat nothing burger of a character, otherwise it could be like too much harm that they face or something in the game. It just seems completely antithetical to what the mission they claim to have is. again, with how they have targeted games in the past and what they're currently doing, it feels like most game companies, in order to play ball with these demands, will probably just elect to not have female-facing games, like with a lead female protagonist, and they will probably ensure that the female characters that might appear in the game don't play a big role in it because they never know what Collective Shout might have an issue with. And since these games' budgets are so bloated these days, I don't think they'll be willing to take any kind of chances, any type of risk of their game being just like wiped off of like the biggest fucking gaming platform like Steam. So they'll probably just elect to play it safe and have any female characters just in the background with a really insignificant role. Because, again, there's no way of knowing what Collective Shout's going to try and spin when it comes to these games and these characters. Like, again, all of that they listed there as an issue, that was literally in the game to deliver messaging on how unacceptable that shit is. It was used for empathy, not a glorification or anything at all. It was actually delivering a message that really feels very in line with what Collective Shout claims to play. It is completely out of control. And let's go ahead and just continue to put a little fear. If you can successfully bully payment processors, and it's reported that Collective Shout is doing this by constantly phoning them up as like 1,000 employees or so. I don't know if that's all confirmed or not. But if you can get 1,000 people together and successfully have these payment processors threaten to lead some of the biggest platforms for gaming, think about what kind of power you can control with these payment processors. If you can just have them like puppets on your screen, that is so dangerous. There is no amount of mental gymnastics you can possibly do to conjure up a justification for why a payment processor has a say in what you can spend your money on. But they will permit you to spend your balloons on. That is a bad direction for the future, which obviously extends far beyond just video games. This is a much bigger topic, a bigger issue than just gaming. If payment processors are going to step in and basically like the fucking, you know, the boss house guy, so you're not allowed it. When you're trying to spend your money on a product, we've got a huge problem. Just play with that possibility here for a second. Like, let's say you want to buy a dildo or something, right? You want an adult sex toy. Well, what if the payment processor deemed those to be obscene? We will not support any businesses that are selling adult toys. Consumers shouldn't be able to buy these. Okay, all of a sudden you can't buy those? That's been fucking wiped out. And let's take it to something that's not even sexual. Let's say a katana.
Time to get
I want a katana. I really like some of the blades for one piece. It'd be really nice to have a replica blade.
You get away!
Get away! To be a little too dangerous and threaten to pull out of any websites that are offering katanas for sale because those are some very scary people. So, can't buy those.
You really should have known better.
It's a big issue. Payment processors should have no say in what you spend your fucking money on. Of course, that doesn't apply when it's like you trying to buy something highly illegal and get that. Things like this is absurd. Like, this is completely preposterous and out of control. Anyway, I just had to yap about that. That's really it.
Problem solved!
Anyone willing to help? Enemy located.
Found the bad guy! Follow the
I have no doubt most of you have noticed that the last 10 or 11 months have been a lot glowing with a raging. You can tell probably just from my voice alone and this striking smile.
Don't mind me!
So what is the secret to this newfound happiness of mine? The one trick doctors don't
Found that guy!
I haven't been online.
Spider tracer!
The amazing Spider-Man! Over the last 10 or 11 months, internet the vast majority of it. And of course, occasionally I'd still dip my tootsies in some of it, like if there's something particularly wacky going on, and I still cover like news and crazy shit going on with aliens and all of that kind of thing, or if there's like a really cringe, you know, prankster that got arrested or something, I'll still talk about that. But it's not like a fixation for me like it used to be over the last few years.
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
All internet creators face.
Tagged him with
Only
the
60 seconds left.
And I want to keep it that way. I'm having a lot more fun not doing that. That being said, there is something that has unfolded here that's like the John Wick killing the dog moment that's bringing me back. Just
Enemy
very
located.
temporary.
away!
And it's how to stop.
Feeling
There's no time to stop killing games.
That's me.
And there's no way to talk
A little
about Stop
help,
Killing
please.
Games without also mentioning
I can
Pirate
only do it
Software
so
because
often,
of
okay?
the profound effect he has had on that initiative.
Let's bust this place up.
Here's some foe.
I say demise, but it's not actually
Down to 30
demise,
seconds.
but it has been on life support. And Pirate Software
Tag
did
it with a spider trace, my
roll
friend.
Fine, we got this.
videos,
Goodbye.
stream, shitting all over. And that's not even doing it justice. He was full-blown shooting on this. He was shitting on this. And a lot of what he was saying about Stop Killing Games wasn't accurate. It was a misrepresentation of the initiative. And the guy behind it, right here, Ross, finally got the record straight on a lot of misconceptions that
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
kind of exacerbate these processes that just weren't accurate to what the initiative was actually saying. Finally got the record straight. And I, of course, wanted to talk about it as someone who does actually care. Now, as I said, I've been a little more off the grid. I bought a fucking farm, so I've been, living off the Lord's land recently, and I've missed a lot of the internet happenings. So, Pirate Software's previous anime arcs of drama, like with World of Warcraft, and the one after that, 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 I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. I only got little tiddlywinks, little morsels of lore about it in a few clips, so I never really even understood what
The
was
right
going
heroes
on
could make
there.
all the
So Pirate
difference.
Software's response to everything that happened yesterday really caught me by surprise. That was a subversion of my expectations, bigger than Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yeah, Hutcher, I did. I think it's really hilarious to me that that entire community is so butt mad at me for putting out a video 10 months
Be
ago
wary. No timeline
about their stuff
exists where Magneto
and then not being
yields.
refuted, and now it's my fault that everything is going wrong for them.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone
I will
Cold
never
fucking Steve
allow
Austin.
Krakoa to
And
suffer
that's
the
the
same
truth, because
fate as
Pirate
Kenosha.
Software said so. Some shit like that. It's crazy how he's responding.
be coming in
The
30
smugness
seconds.
is
Stay
nails
strong.
on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it. And he goes on
Ready to rock,
that
sis?
same
You know
talking
me,
point
Johnny.
multiple
When I'm
times in the
needed,
clip
I'm
about
there.
how, like, oh, I guess I'm fully to blame. I guess because I made those videos
Don't
10
let me
months ago,
hurt
it's
you.
my fault entirely that this whole thing crashed and burned. Yep. Oh boy. Time to play a sad song on the world's smallest violin for the Stop Killing Games movement.
Battle
all
starts in
because
5,
Big Bad Pirate
4,
Software took it all down by
3,
himself.
2,
Like, it's crazy.
1.
No one's saying that.
You have to stop them
Like,
from securing
there's
the
no
mission
one out there
area.
that is saying it is entirely Pirate Software's fault that Stop Killing Games hasn't been more successful in its endeavor. But there's irrefutable evidence that you had a detrimental effect, damaging effect on Stop Killing Games because of your misinformation that you spread about it in 2 videos and across all your streams, and not once have you bothered to correct that record. And he has said that it hasn't been repeated in 10 months. That is fishy. That is turbo bullshit. Go to your own comment section on your video to see everyone refute it, as well as the innumerable other gamers and voices out there that have taken down those videos and become a lot of proven that you just didn't understand it. And that is the big problem. No one hates Pirate Software because he doesn't agree with Stop Killing Games. The reason so many people are over it, and myself included, you can disagree with the movement all you want. If you don't like the initiative, make your own choice. But the reason so many people, myself included, do not like how Pirate Software is handling all this is he has refused, outright refusing, to just admit any level of fault, that he was wrong about anything. And that couldn't be more clear from his clips as well as his tweets that he's made. It's actually his tweets that really set me off the fucking rails here, off my board. Let's start with this little nugget here that he deleted from last night. So he tweeted directly at Ross, the guy behind Stop Killing Games, talking about how he made those videos 10 months ago, and since then, his community has been open to
Sniper's walking on.
fucking tyranny threat that he must destroy. And this community is too rabid and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this shit?
Snipers don't like it when you
Why do
get
you think
close.
we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because it's been rage baiting shit the entire time. And he goes on about like how here's the victim of Ross's
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
hilariously hypocritical coming from
better.
Pirate Software. It is you need not make it very clear
An
and
extra
it's very
force field?
rude about
Great.
how much he dislikes not only Ross but the movement. And it's not like he's being very professional and polite about it. Buttoned up. Listen to it.
This was my first encounter. Enemies on approach.
Oh shit.
You need not fear.
Thanks a lot.
You cannot hurt me.
It's shit. not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is fair. That is purely that's
Plasma burst!
keeping it tight. The level of stupid that I just had to this shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass.
I feel like myself again.
I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this
Your attacks are futile.
I have no qualms about them. They can eat the whole time. That's
This is real firepower! Judge, jury, executioner!
That started at this main fall. And by the way, we all have to take him much because he didn't want to dilute the initiative into this kind of war-mounted drama between creators, which I think was actually very big of him. The only reason he's talking about it now is because it's at the end of its life, and so many people still don't understand it because of something like Pirate Software misrepresenting
My
it.
power
So he's
cannot be
finally
quelled.
setting the record straight there. Anyway, he did delete that tweet,
You need
but
to
just a
stop that
little while
vehicle
ago,
in its
he
tracks.
made a new tweet, a very long tweet, as well as a series of tweets under it in regards
One
to the
step
split
closer to
and
safety.
all these words, all this mumbo jumbo, not once did he say he was
Much
wrong about
better.
everything. In fact, he just continues to double down, even proudly stating he is doubling down. Wow, how incredibly noble, doubling down on things you are provably, blatantly wrong about. You don't need to hit the jumbotron to read down yesterday's video going over so many of the things that he was incorrect about in regards to the initiative. But the point is, that is an issue that is really sorry about that. I still don't fully agree with it, but I do recognize that there are some errors here in
I'm
my
taking
coverage.
requests.
That's where I was expecting. That is not what we got. And it prompted me to reach out
I
directly
feel like
to
myself
talk
again.
to him, to see, like, why isn't he acknowledging that? Is there a reason? Like, what is going on there? I did very clearly so I'm very happy with my coverage of Stop Killing Games, which is fine. I think that's totally fine. I'm not going to leak DMs or really go in depth on our private conversation, but the point of
shall not
reaching out
escape
to
our
his refusal to acknowledge
This is real firepower! Under my protection.
and it led to a just shy of 2 hours like circular argument that ultimately got us.
You
He was
cannot hurt
more
me.
focused on his qualms with Stop Killing
Thanks a lot.
Games and really liked to challenge me to prove I was wrong about some of his hang-ups with it.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Behavior aspect, like, hey,
Stop them in their
he
tracks!
did misrepresent it.
Shield
Timestamp,
charge,
he then
fire.
instead of saying I'm wrong for thinking that he
With
misrepresented it.
protons.
You got me. So I want to just publicly say this again. There are plenty of things you can disagree
Plasma?
with.
This is why I'm sniper.
I'll put links to it if you want to learn more about it. You can form your own opinions on it if you want to support it. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's super normal. And I didn't reach out to try and champion that Pirate Software should become, a huge ambassador of Stop Killing Games, out there on the fucking front lines fighting for it. It had nothing to do with that. It was
should be
simply about
sufficient.
the misunderstanding that he showcased, maybe unintentionally, and the misrepresentation of it that he brought Stop Killing Games even is in the first place, which I found to be a problem because he's never even acknowledged that as
Leave them to conscience.
and because he refuses to acknowledge that in any way on that
Judge, jury, executioner! I feel like myself again.
About misrepresenting what's not going on. More so about how the public just doesn't understand game development, and it kind of reads to me like
I'll
we're all
take a
just too
shield.
stupid to understand it from his side of things. Our conversation basically amounted
I
to
shall
toilet
not be
paper,
removed so
unfortunately.
easily.
Again, I was focused on you have done this, maybe unintentionally.
I was
You
the
should at least say that you have.
There's
or at
still a
least,
chance to
are
stop
you
them.
aware that you did this? And then it became more like,
Only 60 seconds left!
in the end of our conversation at the start of this was something that was not even the focus. I was not going to try and convince him to be part of Stop Killing Games. I don't think
a checkpoint.
ground
Now
on
might
like
be a good time to stop them.
Behold the god of thunder!
how difficult it would be in certain cases. I agree with that for sure. I still think overall
Mutants
Stop Killing Games
always
is a net
rise
positive for the
again.
gaming industry where something desperately needs to change with a lot of these awful practices. But for the 10 millionth time in the last 2.5 hours, it was just about him having this awareness that his coverage
Better
did
stop that
mislead
vehicle!
him, and that he maybe not maliciously or
feel like
anything,
myself
but
again.
misunderstood or
Behind.
misrepresented Stop Killing Games.
Someone has us in their sights.
And the way
It's
that he
now or
talked
never.
about
Stop
Ross was
them.
unacceptable. That originated into the tweet there about the way he talked about car sales and type deal and like calling everything about it ass.
You
Really
shall not
recognized
be
that was too harsh. Yeah, look, I'm sorry for that. I do appreciate that. I think Ross will appreciate that as well.
Judge, jury,
I still want
executioner!
Don't give them another inch. Or else.
tooth and nail coming for throats for anyone that tries to mention that there
I
was
feel like myself again.
coverage of the Stop Killing Games. He is so hell-bent on proving he's right and everyone else is wrong that's saying that. I just don't get it. He's just treating it like he's got the mega mind, once-in-a-generation galaxy brain that no one can possibly understand all of Cleveland are beneath him, and we're lucky that he even raised up the street. Stupid for thinking he did anything wrong there in regards to his coverage of Stop Killing Games and what's happening. It's just so odd to me. Because if you come out and be like, yeah, you know what?
Someone has us in their sights.
I can see why this was so misleading for some people. I didn't mean for
Only
it to be.
60 seconds
And
left.
maybe I misunderstood some of these things. This would not have been nearly as big of a deal as it has turned into. And I went back and looked at some of his previous
I shall not
dramas,
be
I
removed
suppose,
so
and
easily.
then a common thread with pirate software, like in World of Warcraft. He made a mistake, but he completely refused to acknowledge the mistake, and it made it a much bigger snowball into an epic. To like accept that he can make mistakes, like he does things wrong sometimes.
30 seconds.
God of thunder!
To be like, yeah, I did do that wrong. You're
Well,
right.
you
I
can't
was
expect
incorrect
them
with
all.
this. And it would save so much of a headache. But he just comes across as a narcissist. He really does, unfortunately. Like, I'm not an armchair Reddit psychologist here going to diagnose him as a narcissist or anything, but like, that's what it comes across as. He just refuses to admit that he ever does anything incorrectly. Admits no faults of his own, ever. Except, I suppose, to Ross here, which maybe this is a beginning of a big character development for Pirate Software. He did apologize to Ross for how he treated him and what he said about him. I think that's great. Would love to see that same kind of energy for understanding where people like myself
You'll
are
need
coming
a
from with your
top-notch
coverage of
team to
Stop
win
Killing
this
Games
one.
and why people feel the way they do about what's happened since with your responses. But anyway, I won't keep yapping about it. That's really about it. So yeah.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world. But it
I never wanted to be Iron Man, but it worked out for
Hi
everybody.
there. I'm a soulless corporate CEO, and today I've taken a break from one of my favorite hobbies, devouring the blood of infants. And I'm here to ask a question. Is a gamer not entitled to the content?
If you were as smart as me, you'd be Iron Man.
Are you proud of the time you spend working for a paycheck to be able to afford
30 seconds before you attack.
comforts
Get ready.
like entertainment? Well, that's too bad because I'm here to steal all of that from you. You will
You're an
own nothing
assassin
and be
just like
happy.
me, aren't you?
Yes, this includes
was.
your precious video
Once.
games. We're gonna keep
But now
killing them,
that
and there's not a
is
goddamn
not
thing you can do
It's in our
about it.
blood.
Fight!
And in the
Soldiers,
blood we
get
spill.
set for a combat
And
drop,
part of us
okay?
never
New
changes.
major order just came in from command. Our mission
battle
is to
starts in
stop
5,
killing games.
4, 3, 2, 1.
This is part of the Stop Killing Games initiative, and
I will buy
just in
you
the last
safety
3
with
days, this
Enemy
initiative
ahead.
has gained over 100,000 users.
That one swinging like that?
Now we have until July 31st to get all of these signatures. I think we can get it done. Stop Killing Video Games is an initiative as straightforward as those 4 words.
To a sector, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement to stop publishers effectively destroying video games they have already sold to customers.
The movement was started by a channel called The First Farm, and a creator goes by Ross.
You're halfway there.
Hard
Keep
effort
going.
promoting something that benefits all of us. If you buy them, play them, or even But now is the time for any passionate gamers to throw their full support behind it. He recently posted an hour-long video start and end with the entire match. I'll have it linked in the description and pinned comment, but I'll let Ross sum up.
The quick legal argument is that the vast majority of games with an online requirement say they can be terminated at any time for any reason. Or Blizzard likes to say any or no reason. That might be a violation of Directive 9213 EDC, which protects consumers against unfair terms and consumer contracts. So if that's what you're going to do, that's part of the contract is null and void. And if it's null and void, then what does the law say about how long the term is? Well, it doesn't. That's the whole mess.
Destination Avengers. Mind the exploding plasma!
Can you believe the nerve of this guy wanting to save all of us some money? Has this guy even considered the various multi-billion-dollar corporations? We're lucky enough to just be able to buy their products, don't you see? And they should be allowed the freedom to destroy our products whenever they want for any reason at any time.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
For no reason. Our problem is those terms are so hostile to consumers and the media that they should be taken off the
So much
table
for Moon Knight's
entirely.
song.
It is something so uncontroversial, normal. It's surprising how few people are open critics.
You can count on us, Herbie.
But there is at least one.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Especially when something much more important is happening. Just be patient. But before we get into that, all you need is one punch. A series that just collabed with the sponsor of today's video, Crystal Events, a Magic-Punk MMORPG. Embark on the path of a hero during this limited time event which runs until July 26th. You can download and play Crystal of Atlan for PS5. Now's the time to
I'm doing this my way.
I am ready to put on a show.
Never miss.
Maximum pulse!
Nobody can handle the pulse cannon. You too can take the fight to Goros. Play as your favorite characters from One Punch Man, like
The vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
all unlocked at the start. No character gotcha. And each class has 2 specializations. You can combine your skills in over 20 different combinations, ensuring there's tons of ways to experiment and play the game. You can even team up with Tornado or get a mount, Genos' Sky Knight. What do you think of that, Genos? I'd say it looks pretty fire. Download and play Crystal of Atlan for free.
Get ready.
Thank you, Crystal of Atlan, for sponsoring this video.
Rockets, fire!
Sometimes you have to
What
splot.
this means is a battle for consumer rights. Are you consumer?
Don't let anything stand in your way.
Us against the world. Let's pop back up under their nose.
I can find whoever put me out
Are you
last
in
time.
favor of the stop slaughtering baby seals?
Hurry up!
Old soldiers.
Are you against that? Not only do you want to back this,
Put a spring in my step.
but not to. And I encourage everyone who lives in the
Bombs away!
the initiative. That will also be linked down below. Let's get it done. We're gonna shoot France and Germany.
Mind the exploding plasma!
I must commend and
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
click a document.
Helped me out.
No
Thanks.
easy feat. Least of all, getting
You owe me
600,000
one.
gamers to agree on something. The last time that many gamers agreed on anything, it became the most downvoted Reddit comment of all time. So Ron, I think you are well within your rights to enjoy this moment of pride and accomplishment.
What do I hit next? I'm taking requests.
Everybody needs a hand sometimes. Or a dagger.
Negotiation.
A
I can get you to the tower, Herbie.
companies
sorry for Ned's
become
enemies.
legally obligated to preserve their games in
close.
some way, or at the very least, allowing customers, consumers to preserve the game. The point is this movement is very pro-publisher. It leaves that choice up to the
Maximum
They
pulse!
have multiple options. It's really such a convincing argument.
victory!
On the side of
win!
like game publisher, corporate executive type guy. As seen with the crew, publishers like Ubisoft are fine with abruptly shutting down their games, eliminating all online functionality, and offering no recourse for people who want to play that game, maybe now, maybe somewhere down the line, and then offering no recourse for the player. Is this good for the player? And here's the phrase that really scares corporations, okay? Make sure you don't repeat this anywhere, okay? It's very offensive, all right? If buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. It's important to note that Stop Killing Games is not retroactive. It is not unreasonable.
The
It
right
would not
heroes could make
force
all the
every
difference.
developer to turn on the servers for
I never
every
wanted to be
dead
Iron
game
Man.
and keep them
But it
running
worked out for everybody.
indefinitely. Who's gonna do that for our boy Concord? Is the team that made MAG? What happened? Is the team that made MAG gonna have a high school reunion? This might actually be like a completely dead game. Is this playable in any way? Let me know in the comments. PlayStation Move? What the fuck? And you could make a whole ass video on why video game preservation is important. But let me just give you a personal
Sure he's
example.
going to get this
There's
all
a game
sorted
called
out.
Command and
All I have
Conquer
to do is build
Renegade,
her.
which, as far as I'm aware, nothing even comes close to its concept. It mixes
He'll be coming in 30
RTS
seconds.
mechanics
Stay strong.
with first and third person shooter fundamentals. It would have been an utter tragedy if, when the GameSpy servers shut down, the game went with it. And here's where things are getting weird, because now I'm gonna give EA some props too. In a rare example of EA doing something good, they have allowed a
starts in
group of
5,
passionate
4,
fans to
3,
resurrect
2,
Command and Conquer
1.
Renegade with their own
Hurry up.
free-to-play mod, Renegade X. Video games
That's better.
are great escape. Nothing comforting knowing that one day, you can go back and play something that you did years ago. Game preservation is important, and it's not just for random mistakes.
Here's a list of some popular games that are all at risk of being destroyed sometime in the future. The Stop Killing Games movement sees many of these being destroyed as a problem, and they're exactly the type of games that will start being protected in the initiative path.
There's no way to be against the Stop Killing Games movement in a way that is pro-consumer or pro-gamer. And if it happens how big a Stop Killing Games was stuck around 400,000 for nothing, and it seemed all hope was lost. Who deserves credit for this sudden resurgence? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about
Better stop that
Mr.
vehicle!
Now, unfortunately, Ross had done just about everything he
They've made
could
it
think of
halfway!
to push
Stop
to get
them!
those 1 million signatures. And this
hope
guy
I'm
is
not
one hell of a
cursed
diplomat.
now.
Very nice,
Chaos
demeanor,
control!
passionate about games.
Plasma!
Malice, hatred, contempt towards publishers or anyone. In fact, you'd be
The moon haunts you!
Still a chance to stop them! My fate
let
isn't
alone
sealed
publicly.
Okay, I really don't want to do this
Goodbye.
next part. It's become a liability to the campaign, and I'm not. Our biggest critic by far,
They hit a checkpoint!
streamer
Now
Howard
might be
Song.
their time to stop them!
Only exposure to Stop Killing Games has been this
Anyone willing
video,
to help?
then you've been misinformed. This video is by someone who does not understand the campaign, has been trying to stop it, and has been making up what it is about.
Let's get Scurvy later.
Extermination!
Shields up! That's
Not
good.
only that, he has stated
Us against the world!
seeking to convince people not to sign the initiative. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actually tell people not to.
Find out, sniper. Psionic surge!
Crafted this
Guess who
being
sniped the
a
sniper? I won't.
deep-voiced pro-gamer, pro-hacker, former developer, the everyday Cyberman. But most recently, some cracks have started to emerge. Most notoriously being his epic roach out in a hardcore WoW classic clip with a heartbreaking moment.
They made it halfway! Stop them! Better stop that vehicle!
It's been removed from play.
Intentionally
Take cover. We got a
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You get a weapon!
made a misplay. That's okay. It happens. Just
There's still a
say
chance to
you're sorry.
stop them!
Admit you fucked up.
Here comes trouble!
My personal favorite do you see my man?
Don't go down
What am I
the
supposed to do? If you're writing a narcissistic character,
Born again!
This was inevitable.
Double KO!
Ah, that's better.
What am I supposed to do for you?
Rise, my friend!
because he made obvious mistakes and then pretended like he didn't. That's how we check that. He started to do weird.
A disappearance.
Violating a takedown on an indie game that he thought used his voice and it's a
Stop them in their
new
tracks!
game called Idle Streaming Bonanza. It's a game that includes many streamers and basically just pokes fun at all of them. The thing is, there was no actual build of the game with Pirate Software's voice. So, when you saw the DMCA,
A disappearance.
maliciously incorrect
Extermination!
with someone who didn't. The attorney is on vacation. Pirate was completely in the wrong, and I think it said something about him. His first reaction to
Lifesaver.
hearing his voice has been used in a video game that is just a
Better stop that vehicle!
is to immediately try and
They hit a
take it down.
checkpoint.
Like, who
Now
does
might
that?
be a good time to
We're
stop
going to take
them.
you to court. You're going to lose. You cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission. Welcome to the finding out time. What am I supposed to do?
We're all on the internet. We all get made fun of on here.
Yeah, no, he was doing it maliciously.
Better stop that vehicle!
And this post has, guess how many upvotes? 27. What the creator of this thing has done is just posted a clip on Reddit of what
I
it
want to
would
make
be
now.
like
A
if
disappearance.
Pirate was in the
You
game.
get a weapon!
The only reason I'm fighting this is because he's removing my game from Steam when he's
It's
not.
now or never!
That's
Stop
the issue I
them!
have with this. All the other issues I'm fine.
Like,
Man, I
Pirate
gotta
Software
make
didn't
another
even bother
beacon.
to check that he was actually in the game. Well, I don't know.
Us against the world!
The moon haunts you!
Plasma!
Hard straight to DMCA.
Someone
But ever since
scratch my
that
back!
WoW stuff, people have been going back and uncovering some things.
Sniper!
Now, Ross in his video highlights every YouTuber and gaming news outlet
Sniper's
that
lights.
has covered killing games. And he can even going so far as to say the complete
Born
opposite of
again!
what was literally
Don't give them another inch! For us! Spider scanners won't leave it alone!
Oh no!
Second chance is over.
A
About
disappearance.
that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it said you're supposed to do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop games
Born
from going there
again!
when we spell it out. I admit, guys, this part hurts.
Extermination!
The biggest voice on this issue. Get it wrong again and again
My fate
and
isn't
again.
sealed yet.
Then put that
Hey,
same
T,
wrong
enjoy
information
the
on
amplifier.
blast to a far bigger audience than we can reach. It
That
hurts.
fucking hurt!
We're being targeted by a sniper!
He doesn't understand what we're asking for.
Look, it's one thing to disagree with a movement for whatever reason. It's okay to ask questions and get clarification and make sure
The moon haunts you!
Us against the world!
Embrace the chaos.
disappear. Plasma!
Succeed. This is generational data.
You get a weapon. You get a weapon. You get a weapon.
Stupid ass. I would quite stupid ass. I think this is ass.
Actual villain.
I got your back.
But maybe that's exactly what we need. We need the bad guys to help galvanize gaming chairs to sign something. Now, if you watch
There is no
Ross's
reason
video
to be afraid
and you
of my
listen to how
magic.
Pirate Software
Unless
talks,
you
it's
give
pretty
me
clear who
He's stuck
the
in their
aggressor
tracks.
is, who is the dick.
This is complete
No,
garbage.
Spidey's
All
don't
we've
go
been
down this
discovering.
easy.
I dropped the mask. I have no qualms about that.
I thought it was really funny when Ross did this. What am I
Nice,
supposed to do? Just stop killing games? So Pyro has admitted that he has been ignoring this issue
fate isn't
and
sealed yet.
misinformation he spread for 10 months until he posted one of those. I ain't
As Sorcerer
reading all of that
Supreme, I
type
oversee
tweets.
other
For some
magical
reason,
adepts.
He deleted this.
Rise, my friend.
I would actually find healing with your Second chance is over. And you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video challenge. You have no manner of what was I supposed to do for you?
Look out, they're headed our way.
Is out in force.
Us against the world! Plasma!
You get a weapon. You get a weapon. You get a weapon. There's enough.
Final 10 seconds.
Born again.
By the
Another epic victory.
But you wanted to create someone, a persona that could galvanize people to be in opposition to you. This is your out. This is your out. Because if you don't own your mistakes will own you. I do want to point out him saying your initiative has failed, not it's failing or it's in trouble, losing support. There's a lot of ways you could have said that. It shows the definitive your initiative has failed. It almost sounds like you wanted to, like you're trying to manifest this outcome.
The
Any
right heroes
assumption
could make all
that
the
Pirate
difference.
simply disagrees with the Stop Killing Games initiative, we can just uninstall all of that. He maliciously wants it to fail. And that is so disappointing. Because how does a guy who calls himself Pirate not understand why people want to preserve their game? It's like you can't make this stuff up. The writers for this year's season of Life on Earth, they're outdoing themselves, man. This season's fucking crazy. Disagreeing with this initiative is any self-respecting gamer, but to be like so outspoken against it is really sus. It's sussy balls. Pirate Software.
They'll be coming in
Look
30
inside.
seconds. Stay
Don't
strong.
Pirate Software. I'm more offended by his complete disregard for the noble profession of piracy. Now, some people, myself included, have wondered why he is so steadfast against it. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say definitively that Pirate Software is an industry plant. I'm just saying this is exactly what
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
Since you're so
2,
set on
1.
cutting up my responses
You have
into
to stop them
pieces
from
to try
securing
to
the
make
mission
me
area.
seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my dignity and share the actual context. There is also a massive pinned battle on the first video. Did you know I'm good?
An extra force field? Great.
Did not after my step.
Maybe still doesn't. That means the majority of this critique is about things it was not needed. All in the mode.
I'm fine talking to people that are level-headed about this and can have a conversation. But to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn shit toxic instantly, and it sets me off. Don't you understand? It's your fault. I am upset. How dare you expect me to correct my false information that I spit out 10 minutes ago?
You need to stop that vehicle in
Or anyone
tracks.
else in the industry. Why not?
The reason why is because I found his entire statement over
Yes.
I am ready to put on a show.
Way to say Ross isn't level-headed enough in your eyes and can't Battlefield ready again. Did you watch this video? Have you ever seen a more chill gamer or YouTuber on this platform? Real talk. He's completely non-hostile.
Better stop that vehicle.
He's making this video
They made it
now.
half lane. Stop them.
All he can do.
Why is he rebuilding momentum? I accept the one team in Germany. And then started flying up the clock. Let's have a no-win scenario. Because if I ignore it, then a lot of people are going to get misinformed about the campaign. If I did a response video, which is not something I wanted to do anyway, then it might look like drama farming, which could understandably throw off a lot of people from the campaign. Because it's not about that at all.
So much misinformation is
Battlefield ready again. Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
Now's the time to
You get a weapon. You get a weapon. You get a weapon. My good deed for the day. Someone scratch my back. You're ready for it.
Now you want the wall makers?
Want to teach me how to flip
What, like all of them?
The idea that we're going to go through this because it's an easy win, but not the right win?
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
He misunderstood the initiative and misunderstood our intent. And in his words, this is why we were
How dare you even crack a joke about the reality of the legal process in the United States? What kind of hill is that to die on?
I'm doing this my way!
It's much better.
This is a nice
over here.
work. You think things past because they're good ideas? How about the people who
He's snapping
are letting
in
them
their
walk?
This is just what's so funny about like the double, the triple, the quadruple.
Someone scratch my back!
What's so fucking funny about it is you just have to keep burying yourself into an even more ridiculous
Lots to
position.
destroy
Make it
here.
so easy to make fun of you. It is
I'll
hereby
patch you
my
up.
dubious
Battlefield ready again.
Judge, jury, executioner!
I am ready to put on a show.
This is real firepower!
Just fucking talk to Ross.
You're ready for it!
I just don't get it. But Tyrant has truly exposed major flaws in his
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop
the
them.
initiative and push this thing forward. Please do. Links are in the description. Reach out to anyone you think might also benefit or be interested in this, and make sure you do your part. Go subscribe to Ross at First Farms. He deserves it for everything he's put himself through. And to Pirate
Relay
Software,
deployed.
just take
It ain't
accountability, man. I know you're going to be
You're ready for
overloaded with
it.
people saying the
Feeling
same
fantastic.
shit, and you're going to want to tune all of it out.
I'm good to go.
Mistakes and mistakes will only people want to sometimes you give them no choice. Don't be the guy campaigning against gamers.
You're welcome.
Campaign with them.
It's now or never. Stop them.
You're ready for it!
Invisible?
Just give them another chance. Or else.
Here, yesterday, turns out there's a lot of things that are wrong. Just for you, so you can keep track of all the woke nonsense and all of those political agendas being pushed in your games. You can avoid it. I'm going to help you. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. And just so you know, this list is very, very comprehensive. There's a lot of woke stuff out there. A lot of wokeness. As you can clear, there's fucking 1,400 games on here. Look, okay, it's no secret that companies are sometimes pushing agendas in media, pop culture, video games, and whatnot. Bloons Tower Defense 6 is woke now, fellas. It's been compromised. It contains...
Don't mess with the amazing Judge, jury, executioner!
I'm available in the trophy store with a pro pride message.
Things are gonna be different this time.
That's their review of the game. They're reviewing games based on wokeness. This amorphous blob of a term now. But Bloons Tower Defense 6 has been compromised. Thank you, Woke Detective, for making me aware of this. I can finally cleanse my... Just get the wokeness out of here. Get it out of here. Well, obviously Starfield is pretty woke, you know. Pronoun selection, they, them, body types instead of male and female. Improbably diverse NPCs in all areas. Well, hold on, what the fuck does that mean? Improbably diverse? They're in space. You see, it's not just what games they classify as woke, it's also the reasons and the recommendation. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, that's definitely woke for sure. I won't be playing that. It did win Game of the Year, but come on, it's woke. It's woke, fellas. Sorry, Larian. Hades fans, oof. Homosexual relationship between minor characters. Optional homosexual romance. Damn. Didn't that also get some awards? Look at how many games we're exposing. All of these games have been compromised. The Shovel Knight series? Man. Hogwarts Legacy, well, we all knew that. Contains overtly pro-DEI messaging. 1800 Scotland somehow has diverse LGBTQ plus characters. There's fucking wizards in the game, bro. Just get over it. Why do we cherry pick historical settings like this when it's clearly not a non-fictional story? That's crazy. That's crazy. But Hogwarts Legacy is woke. J.K. Rowling is... I'm a little confused now. I'm a little confused on that one. Let's see. Other famous... Pow World is woke because it uses body type in place of biological sex during character creation. Who cares? Who cares? You see how easily like all of these are just written off as like they label that as overtly pro LGBTQ plus. Like that's kind of crazy, dude. Oh boy, Call of Duty's woke too. Shit. Well, yeah, multiple pride flag calling cards and emblems. Yeah, I can't have that. Can't have that. Why can't we though? Wouldn't that just give people more ammunition in the lobbies to use those types of slurs against the people they want to? You're probably thinking this is like a pride flag too, but unfortunately it is merely a t-shirt of a T-Rex riding a skateboard in a reference to Pink Floyd's famous album, The Dark Side of the Moon. It was the wokest thing I could find in my house, but no. If you thought I was wearing a rainbow shirt, you're really funny. That's really funny. It's crazy that like that's all they need. Like that just this, like a pride flag in a game, even if it's an optional cosmetic, you can't even have that. Like they don't even want that. No rainbows allowed. No rainbows, no pride flags. Fellas, the start of the NFL season is upon us, and the best way to cope with my beloved Seabirds not making the playoffs this year is by teaming up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL. Because if my actual team isn't any good, I can make up my own. Fantasy football is great, but a little monetary incentive can make things a lot more interesting. With DraftKings, you can draft your own team of kings, pit them against other players, and with only a small deposit of $5, you have a shot at winning a share of millions in prizes. Fantasy football is a game of knowledge, prediction, and skill. So do your research beforehand, check out the official DraftKings website, and download the app. If you want to win, you got to go in with the right playbook, with the right strategy. So don't miss out on all the exciting action this football season. Click the link in the description and pinned comment to download the DraftKings app and use the promo code TheActMan for a free shot at a piece of millions in prizes with just a small deposit of $5. Thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
Let's see, is any Call of Duty not woke? Warzone is woke, 2019, yep. Black Ops Cold War. Campaign character creator menu has options for non-binary. God, even Black Ops Cold War is woke now. Jesus. We're getting massacred out here, man. What kind of fucking games are on here? I Was a Teenage Exocolonist? Contains overtly anti-capitalism messaging? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? So does BioShock. A criticizing capitalism is woke now. What? Who wrote this list? Well, I know who wrote this list. It was actually one of the founders of autism.net. Call of Duty. So all of the Call of Duty games that are on Steam are woke. Hard confirm. I will be taking down any reviews of any woke games I've done. Undertale is woke. Shit. Multiple non-binary characters use they them pronouns, including the player character. 2 major characters can form a homosexual relationship. Well, it's a good thing I've never played Undertale. Oh boy, here we go. We're getting to the good shit. Red Dead Redemption 2. Informational, right? Red Dead 2 only contains subtly pro DEI subtly pro diversity, equity, and inclusion messaging. Several minor characters espouse modern-day political sentiments. As an example, the NPC Sadie Adler behaves the same way a modern feminist would.
You're fucking gay! As in homosexual!
That is one of the most retarded things I've ever heard. So I like subtly pro DEI messaging in 1899. Yeah, Dutch only got Lenny and Charles on the squad so it would help his DEI scores with the Pinkertons. Yeah, I like several modern day characters espouse modern day political sentiments. You know what's a modern day political sentiment? Woman's suffrage. What? Native American genocide? All these political topics that were covered for 1899? Like, Sadie Adler behaves the same way a modern day feminist would. How? She's just a strong, badass cowgirl. Her husband died and then she was being taken advantage of by O'Driscolls and then Micah comes in. Yeah, she's probably gonna hate men a little bit. Good God. You see how reductive these types of like woke labels become when they actually have to write down what's woke about it instead of just pointing at women and being like, women, they're woke. You know, it's like, it becomes very reductive and stupid. Skyrim is only moderately woke because an NPC in Whiterun asks you whether the sight of a strong Nord woman offends you. These are also such specific examples, like Oblivion, Dumag Grobunk flirts with males. What? Some Argonians use conflicting pronouns? That's probably just a fuck up of the script or something, if it's Oblivion.
I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that
Thankfully, Fallout New Vegas is only informational. Contains LGBTQ+ themes without specific messaging. Fallout New Vegas. Minor LGBTQ+ NPCs. A possible companion has dialogue about her experiences as a homosexual. Light social commentary. Fallout New Vegas. Light social commentary. I repeat, Fallout New Vegas. Light social commentary. Who wrote this? What LGBTQ+ themes does New Vegas have? I never even heard of that. It's starting to sound like the people that call things woke just like they want all the gay people out of video games. Because it's like, why always highlight which games have homosexual or gay relationships? Like,
why? This whole thing is nothing but a Jewish plot. You do know that, don't you?
I find that highly unlikely, amigo.
Well, I don't like Jews or colored folk. or natives, now that you mention it.
Nobody used to give a shit when it was like KOTOR or Mass Effect. Nobody cared. The people that cared were the out-of-touch Fox News representatives. Now we have like gamers writing this shit. What happened? GTA 5? God damn it. Unfortunately, it features multiple minor LGBTQ plus NPCs. Isn't that unfortunate? Yeah, Fallout 3, jeez. The games that are safe though, Team Fortress 2, no woke content. Thank God for that. Witcher 3, several minor characters provide exposition regarding their experiences as homosexual individuals. You can't even talk about why, like, what it's like to be gay in a video game without it being like, I don't know if we should go there. It's just so weird. Oh, shit, man. The Dark Souls series is, well, Dark Souls has only been moderately compromised, okay? Gwendolyn was born a male, but raised as a female and given clothes and a magic ring to help him act like a female. At least they're familiar with the lore to a certain extent. It is tragic that the entire Dark Souls trilogy contains some woke stuff, guys. I can't recommend that. Helldivers 2, though, contains subtly pro-DEI messaging. How? What is the DEI message? The intro notably features a mixed race family. That's like, to these people, that's like a warning flag. Is that kind of insane? No clear distinction between male or female aside from voice options. But they have helmets on and body armor and I don't get it. I don't get these people. Counter-Strike 2 is not woke. As long as we're killing terrorists, that is A-okay. Cyberpunk, obviously that's gonna be woke. Left 4 Dead series is not. Wait a minute. How? Hold on. There's a lot of black zombies in Left 4 Dead 2. And speaking of, 2 of the 4 playable characters are black, and one of them's a woman. How is that not woke? That's 50% of the playable roster. How is Left 4 Dead 2 not woke? You see how stupid, how fucking easy it is to just point out like minorities and women and say, look at the wokeness. Game's woke. But they don't do that for Left 4 Dead 2. Why? Okay, so Portal is good, but Portal 2 unfortunately has anti-patriarchy messaging, as all male characters are portrayed negatively and are less competent than the female characters. Man, Valve really fell off. They really fell off after that. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball is safe. You can play those games safely. What is this? Validate struggling singles in your area. I can't imagine how this game would be woke. What does this game even look like? We're going in deep.
Get to know struggling singles just like you.
I can't watch anymore.
I can't watch. Oh God. I don't think I can show that. Okay. Don't think I can show that. Here's the thing. If you want to play like these sex games or like dating sims, like, who cares? Who cares about that? I don't care. I wouldn't have even known about the Validate if it weren't for this hilarious list. I really should have covered this in my Battlefront Collection video, but game was woke. Battlefront Collection was woke. You see, they changed the self-inflicted death message from player killed himself into player killed themselves. Wow, look at all these woke games. Battlefield 1. Oh yeah, there was black people in that game. Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 you actually have like an argument for, but of course a small description is not going to do it justice. But look at how many games. Wolfenstein 2, shit, main character is saved by his strong pregnant girlfriend. She also manages to fight off a wave of Nazis.
Fuck me.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is another one of those games where you could make some kind of argument that, yeah, retroactively changing the sexuality of many characters, maybe there's an issue with that. Maybe these characters evolved over time. Maybe it's really not a big fucking issue and the issues surrounding Overwatch are way more important and massive and not about characters' sexuality. Just let the Rule 34 artists be by themselves, okay? Just let them do their thing. For those who are looking to play Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator, you will unfortunately be playing a woke video game. This is made by the Game Grumps? What? When did they? Oh my God. Why did the Game Grumps make this? Boyfriend Dungeon, non-binary. They're just playing like all these, they're overloading the list. Alex Jones and WO Wars. No woke content. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on this list. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How is this not woke? How is this not woke? It's clearly shoving a political message.
Let's free the Patriots and defeat the globalist tech geeks.
Ugh. That really is what it comes down to. It's like, okay, we want politics in games, just the right politics, just the right, like Alex Jones, who's never had a bad opinion ever. Super lesbian animal RPG is woke? No. Overwhelmingly positive reviews. There are people who have 50 hours. Why are there so many fucking like dating games on here? You have to review these things based on each game individually. You can't just be like, well, that's woke, don't play it. You know, you have to actually examine it. Like this could, like the Alex Jones game could be a decent platformer. Could be. Looks kind of funny, like it's got a funny theme, but a lot of people just write off games because they don't contain the right politics, and I think that's really entitled and stupid. Among Us is woke? No, I love Among Us because there's pride flags in it. The gays really do ruin everything. What is this? Val's Guide to Having a Broken Vag. I don't know what who the fuck wrote this list or who the fuck had to play all of these games, but this is just wild. Destroy All Humans contains subtly anti-human and subtly pro-DEI messaging. Are you fucking serious? Anti-human messaging? Boy, I wish this was a wig. I would rip it out. I would rip it out of my skull. Have you played that Destroy All Humans game? Pfft, me? No. Contains some anti-human messaging.
I hope no one notices that I have women's panties on.
You know how I like my games. Pro-human. Imagine being the person like writing this list, looking at and playing Destroy All Humans, and you're like, there's just something not quite right about this. Just something not quite right. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like this game is a little anti-human.
Take him home and drown my sorrows in cheap meaning with sex. Auga!
And that's woke. Oh, they have Armored Core 6 contains multiple forms of woke messaging, some overt and some more subtle. See the full review for more details. Okay. Oh, Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 is woke. The Ultramarines seen in-game are improbably diverse. Features frontline female combatants, including an improbable female authority figure. Get back in the kitchen, women. You can't be on the front lines. They already reviewed Veilguard. It's not even out. They don't even need to play the game. They even reviewed Freddy Fish on this. No game is safe. Pajama Sam? Are you... Thank God I wasn't indoctrinated when I was a kid. Quake is good. Quake 2, not so much. Look at how specific this gets, though. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. A minigame on Ardolis involves singing a song about women in respectable positions of power. Who gives a shit? That's so weird to keep like a database of all this. Like, imagine if they did this for racism and sexism. Wouldn't that just be insane to be like, oh, this game is racist, a black guy gets killed in it? I feel like that would be the exact same shit. They're even reviewing like furry games. Perfect Apocalypse. Jesus Christ. Wow, how is this possible? The game Gender Bender is not woke. Because it offers a satirical take on picking a gender identity. Whether in favor of or against gender identities is unclear. What's your gender? Your royal gayness. Your royal gayness. How do you even find... Do they just click on the LGBTQ plus tag and just go through that and include them all on here? That's probably what they did. Divinity Original Sin 2? How? Homosexual romance options. Okay. Like, that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? That's a bad thing to these people. Not that it's forced, as in it forces the player to be gay, but that it's an option in the game. Homosexual relationships are written and included for people who care or for people who want to explore all pieces of content. All different types of relationships. It's like these people are discouraging that. And sounds like these are the people trying to shove political ideology into our video games instead of trying to keep it, you know, relegated to the artists themselves. I got blackmailed by a futanari. Why are you reviewing these games? Is there a full review I can read for this game? I got blackmailed by a futanari. really like to hear more about that one. It's like these are all like romance games. A gay love story about gay love. What were you expecting? Features homosexual romance? You don't say. I feel like half of the games that are listed as woke are just like gay, like Romancylvania. They're just reviewing romance games. Like Knights of the Old Republic is woke because of Juhani. Ace Attorney Trilogy. Trials and Tribulations features a minor gay character who behaves in a flamboyantly effeminate way. Who cares, man? Trials and Tribulations is the best Ace Attorney game. I'd with Spirited Justice, in my opinion. Mortal Kombat 1, nearly multiple male characters have been retconned and emasculated. They got rid of Scorpion's penis. Nearly all people of authority are female. It's just insane scrolling through this. You could really, it's like going to a zoo and seeing all the exhibits. Dave the Diver is woke. Contains pro DEI messaging. The player character is a fat guy who can somehow deep dive and swim long distances without trouble. The sushi chef is black. Oh my god, it's not recommended. See, we're judging it Don't play this game, the main character's fat. Dave the Diver has insane reviews, 97% of 100,000. That is wild to hate this game because the main character is fat and one character is black. Wild. Well, I hope this has been enlightening for all of you. I hope you have installed most of these games or deleted them from your hard drives. And I just wanted to do my part to raise awareness. Don't buy woke games like Fallout New Vegas, Knights of the Old Republic, Street Fighter 6, Power World, and of course, Call of Duty. But which is your favorite woke game? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the Woke Man for more awesome content. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace. Do you like hot men? Yes. Do you like attractive women with big hands? What's up, everybody? This is the Sexy Man here, and today I'm bringing you my top 10 list of video game characters that I jerk off to. Number 10, Urgot. Number 9, Uncle Lumbago. Lately, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding the upcoming game Stellar Blade and its protagonist Eve. Many gamers are celebrating her provocative design, the exotic outfit she wears, and as a red-blooded male, I can appreciate this as well. Now, I played the demo, it was pretty fun, and I think Stellar Blade is shaping up to be a stellar game. On the flip side, some folk claim this type of character design is harmful because it objectifies women and
Ini semua soal ambisi. Bukan. Ini semua soal batasan. Dan lo seharusnya tahu batasan lo di mana. Bos lo, Tama. Ya, dia punya reputasi. Tapi dia tahu diri. Dia tahu sebatas apa dia bisa naik. Makanya bangun ngasih dia kekuasaan. Jangan khawatir. Gue orangnya cukup masuk akal. Sama kayak lo, gue juga punya ambisi. Tapi di dunia kita ini, kita harus maju langkah demi langkah. Dan lo seharusnya masih jauh di bawah sana untuk bisa ketemu sama gue sekarang di sini.
Bangun yang bakal.
Bangun udah tua! Dia abis ini hancur. Lo gue kasih kesempatan. Lo pilih dia. Jadi, kita balik lagi ke soal ambisi, batasan.
Jo, nggak kayak gini, Jo.
Gue udah bilang, jangan khawatir.
Nggak. Jo, jangan, Jo.
Kamu hubungi saya.
Rama.
Saya tahu siapa kamu. Abang saya bilang, saya bisa percaya Bapak. Abang lo nggak salah. Kamu luka parah.
Iya, Pak.
Bawa dia buat dirawat. Apa-apaan nih? Nggak apa-apa, nggak apa-apa. Kamu tenang aja. Duduk. Duduk. Sita jaket, sarung tangan sama seragamnya. Dan buang dia jauh-jauh dari sini. Mayatnya akan mengapung pagi-pagi di laut sana.
Baik, Pak.
Percaya sama saya. Dia nggak akan bisa hidup sampai besok. Dengan begini, dia nggak sempat membocorkan apa-apa tentang lo. Tentang kita. Kita. Unitku tugasnya untuk melacak bangsat-bangsat yang korup seperti ini. Dan gua pengen lu bantuin saya untuk melacak yang lebih banyak lagi. Divisi kita memang kecil. Tapi ada alasannya kenapa kecil. Kepercayaan.
Kita punya bukti. Kita bisa saksi dan saya bisa jadi saksi.
Lu cuma mendengar kabar angin dan sebuah kotak yang isinya kaset. Nah, gue udah hafal yang beginian ini. Dan akhirnya kita cuma menemukan cecunguk kayak dia. Nah, kalau kita mau membersihkan kota ini dengan bersih, kita harus tangkap mereka. Nama-nama yang penting. Lu suka atau tidak suka dengan peristiwa hari ini, mereka akan mencer. Mereka akan ngincer lu sampai ketemu. Kalau kita nggak cepat bertindak, lu bakal hilang. Keluarga lu juga. Tapi nggak harus seperti itu. Kalau kita diam-diam aja, kalau lu nggak buka mulut sampai semua ini bisa dibersihkan, gue bisa lindungi lu. Peristiwa hari ini, lu nggak pernah ada. Lu tidak pernah ada di tempat. Bagi mereka, lu cuma anak ingusan. Mereka juga tidak akan sadar kalau suatu nama hilang dari laporan.
Ini udah semua?
18 orang. Nggak ada yang selamat.
Rencanamu apa? Bisa. Kita akan cari terus. Gua akan beresin semua. Harus.
Mau apa-apa? Gue mau lu gabung sama tim gue. Lu bakal dilatih ulang sampai lu punya kemampuan yang lebih baik untuk membela kepentingan yang benar. Bagaimana?
Saya nggak tertarik.
Coba kamu lamar.
Pak, tanpa mengurangi rasa hormat, saya bawa dia ke sini untuk ditahan. Supaya dia ditindak hukum.
Dan dia kita bunuh supaya lu yang hidup. Di dunia ini nggak ada perang bersih. Buka mata kamu.
Udah cukup banyak yang bikin mata saya kebuka, Pak. Ya, mungkin tujuan kita sama. Tapi saya nggak mungkin kejar Bapak untuk ke sana. Siapa bunuh dia? Abang gue.
Namanya Bejo. Sudah lumayan lama namanya.
Gue tahu namanya.
Rama. Abang lu memang punya banyak musuh. Tapi mereka tidak ada apa-apanya dibanding dengan siapa yang bakal ngincer lo. Gue bisa melindungi anak dan istri lo. Membuat mereka aman di luar jangkauan. Tapi gue butuh lo. Sekarang ini, kota dibagi rata. Antara tokoh kita bangun dan Gotogumi keluar ke Jepang. Tama tugasnya menyogok semua orang. Dan polisi dibayar di kantor Tama supaya nggak ada yang tahu. Nah, kalau kau bisa mendekati bangun, saya yakin kita pasti bisa menangkap bajingan-bajingan itu. Tama. Supaya ini segera tuntas, gua hanya butuh nama-nama. Gua butuh bukti kalau Reza punya koneksi sama Bangun.
Terus gimana?
Ucok, anaknya Bangun. Sekarang ada di penjara. Ini saat yang tepat buat lu masuk. Lu dekatin dia.
Artinya?
Lu harus gua tangkap.
Cuma beberapa bulan. Kamu nggak boleh tahu aku ada di mana. Dan aku nggak boleh deket kamu. Atau enggak? Kalau nggak gini, aku nggak bisa melindungi kita.
Tuh anak udah keluar rumah sakit kan?
Gue denger dia dikeluarin.
Tutup mulut lo! Lu di sini cuma ngangguk doang. Iya? Atau enggak? Ngerti? Salah apa dia?
Salah apa dia?
Cukup banyak.
Gue butuh tahu lebih banyak.
Dia anak bangsat, politikus bangsat.
Emangnya gue gak bisa langsung ditangkap? Kenapa gue mesti mukulin dia dulu?
Bapaknya anak ini alasannya kenapa Uco masuk penjara. Dan kalau lu punya reputasi, ini akan menjadi perhatian Uco ke lo. Paling nggak, lu punya bahan untuk ngobrol sama dia.
Kalau lo mau gue hajar dia, bener-bener gue hajar. Gue butuh alasan lebih kuat.
Dia itu salah satu pemasok dana terbesar buat Bejo. Rama, dengar. Ciderai dia cukup parah supaya lu ditangkap. Tapi jangan terlalu parah supaya lu nggak ditahan kelamaan.
Dia di mana?
Yeah, the movie's good, but I will tell you, the headlines that keep saying, like, it's the best Marvel project in years, it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life, actually. This is what my eyes were made for. This is why the Lord gave us eyes, so we can watch the new Fantastic Four movie and really appreciate it. Like, this absurd level of glaze, not exactly accurate. Like, it is a good movie. I did enjoy it, but I feel like we're just in this era, and it's something... Voice crack. I just had a voice crack. I'm about to go on a rant, and my voice is like, Charles, don't. It's too early, but I can't help myself. We're just in this era where anytime something good comes out, it immediately has to be heralded like it's the best thing to come out. Like, it's not just comic book movies, but comic book movies are by far the biggest culprit, where pretty much every time a new Marvel movie comes out, people are like, it's the best Marvel movie in years. Like, we just saw these exact headlines with Thunderbolts. So I'm pretty tired of that trend here, and for a lot of people, I think it's a big turnoff from the film, because then it just feels fake. And I'm not going to keep yapping about it. I've yapped about it quite a bit. Anyway, Fantastic Four, First Steps. It's a very solid movie. I was somewhat excited for this one. I had a little bit of doubt after a couple of the trailers came out, especially in regards to Reed Richards. I thought a little bit of that looked goofy, and it felt like some of the CGI was incomplete in the first trailer. But after seeing the film, it's very clear that it was just kind of incomplete in those trailers, because it's so much better here. Like, I was one of those people that was bah-humbugging the Silver Surfer CGI from the trailer and the early promotional stuff, saying that it didn't look that good. In the actual final cut here of the film, it looks a lot better. Significantly better. Anyway, though, let's dive in. This is a film truly focused on family. It is a self-contained plot. You don't need any prerequisite knowledge of the MCU. You don't have to do any of your homework watching fucking 30 movies and 30 shows just to figure out who over there they're hyping up, the glup shitto that just, smoked a neutron star cigarette. Like, who is this guy? Why should we care? You don't need any of that. You come into here and you get all the information you need. This is 4 years after the Fantastic Four got their powers, and they explain all of that to you. Now they're beloved on Earth, and they're about to deal with their most difficult threat yet. Galactus. One of my favorite villains in comic books. I'm not the biggest comic book reader, but I've always had a soft spot for Galactus. I think he is so fucking cool. And with Galactus comes the Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer in this film is one that I've never heard of. I was completely unaware of, named Shala Bal. And it really felt like they wanted to do something with Shala Bal and then completely abandon it. So what ends up being the case is that they start a plot line with her and Johnny that goes nowhere. And then, like, in a desperate attempt to, like, flesh her out, they give you a scene, like a 10-second scene, and then she's not really seen again till the very end. I'm trying to avoid spoilers right now, but in like a minute or two, I'm going to give you the spoilers like I really like to do for reviews now. So for now, I'll just go ahead and leave you with, it felt like the Silver Surfer was underutilized and kind of half-baked with where they were going with the character. But, of course, it is still an important character. Scouts planets for Galactus. And in this film, he's coming. Oh, he's coming. The Silver Surfer warns Earth, and they prep to fight Galactus and try and come up with a plan for how they can survive this, all while Sue is about to give birth to their baby, Franklin. That's the story in a nutshell, and it's actually a really good story, like all about family. I think each member of the Fantastic Four is pretty strong here, especially Ben. I think Ben was an absolute joy in every scene that he was in, and he was in a lot of scenes. Granted, he didn't get a lot of, like, one-on-one time. You got to see him, like, showing off for, you know, kids that wanted to see him pick up a car and stuff like that in order to entertain them. But you don't get anything, like, super emotional with his story and how he's dealing with being a fucking rock now. Which I do think makes sense, because this isn't an origin story per se. In fact, I would say I even prefer it. I just would have liked more Ben, because it did such a good job with the thing here, I thought. They did a good job with pretty much all of the characters for the Fantastic Four. Johnny, I was very surprised with how much I liked Johnny here. That's a pretty difficult task to take a quippy character like Human Torch and make them not annoying and cringe in this era where everyone is so fatigued with comic book quips. Like, there is nothing that makes eyes roll faster than constantly joking characters in a comic book movie now, because it has become so generic and formulaic, people are tired of it. And it's a delicate balancing act with Johnny, but they do a good job because he's not always making snide remarks and being joking or like douchey or something. He is still mainly just like focused on protecting his family, but he just happens to have like some good back and forth jokes with Ben or Reed, and it works pretty well overall. Also, they make his powers look much better in the actual final cut of this film than they looked in the trailers, so that's good. And as far as the core cast go, he's really like the only one that actively uses his powers a lot. For the majority of this film, you will not see the Fantastic Four doing a whole lot with their powers, at least not until like the very end, except for Johnny, who is using it pretty frequently to talk with and chase the Silver Surfer. But I'll get into that in a moment. Sue, I also think they did a good job with. She is a protective mother. She protects her whole family and wants to protect the world. And she is, of course, a very smart character that is extremely powerful. And then there's Reed. This one was going to be tough for a lot of people because a lot of people, myself included, are tired of seeing Pedro Pascal in everything. He has basically had a role in like every major production now. Every hour he's getting announced for a new project as like a lead role. So a lot of people are a little overseeing him and everything, but man can act. He's good in the role. Like, I'm sure there were probably better choices for Reed, but overall he does a good job. I will say he's a little too pouty sometimes for the character he's supposed to be. Like, I do think there were times where he could have been a little less like, whiny's not the right word because he's never whiny, and it is very emotional because he is desperate because it's such a hard problem to solve. How do you survive or beat Galactus? But like, he gets sometimes in this fugue state almost where he's like, I can't crunch the numbers. I can't crunch the numbers. I got nothing. And it's like, that can be a little much sometimes because then he just gets like really stoic and a little pouty about it. But I do think he does a really good job for the most part. So now it's time to cannonball into the deep end of the pool here and really give you my thorough thoughts here, which of course gets us into spoilers. Here's your spoiler warning per usual. Spoiler warning is now over. This movie has a lot that I liked about it, actually. So my favorite scene, my favorite sequence is absolutely when they first meet Galactus. So after the Silver Surfer arrives on Earth, tells him Galactus is coming, he's gonna fuck your face. Like, he wants this planet, he is going to devour you. So enjoy the last moments you guys have got. All right, bye-bye. And then Silver Surfer leaves. Well, they track and find her, and that's when they meet Galactus. Now, I think it's also very important that I mention, and I'm sure you've seen it in the trailers, the vibe of this film, the style, is so fucking good with the retro sci-fi aesthetic. It is amazing. I absolutely love the look of everything here. Like, the technology is all like very retro, very Jetsons-like, and it hits. I thought it was so good, but you need to suspend disbelief a little bit with the level of technology they have here. So I mentioned that they don't really use their powers much. It's because they don't need to, because their technology is so unfathomably advanced that they can basically just rely on that. They have faster than light travel, which is how they were able to track Silver Surfer and then meet Silver Surfer and Galactus on their own ship, because they have faster than light travel unlocked. Basically, any kind of technology you can think of, they have. Teleportation, which becomes a key component, faster than light travel, fucking everything is at their disposal, fundamentally. And it's really cool, but if you start to like nitpick it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense why there would even be like some of the problems they've had when they have this kind of technology. But anyway, they meet Galactus on the ship, and he is amazing. He's on his throne, he's got his fucking wires in, he's like strapped in, he's got a really commanding voice, and the aura, extraordinary, very menacing, and he makes them a deal, like, if you give me your child, because he knows Sue is pregnant, she is about to give birth, which I thought was a little weird that she was so gung-ho about this journey, this mission, because it does put the baby in jeopardy as well. Like, they went there to negotiate with a devourer of worlds while she is about to give birth. Like, she is literally on the cusp of giving birth any moment. She goes there, and Galactus is like, if you give me that baby, I'll spare your world. Because he recognizes that baby, Franklin, it's like the most powerful being in Marvel. He's like, that character right there is broken. So I want to pass my curse of eternal hunger onto Franklin. That's the whole plan. Which, of course, is a deal they decline. And in doing so, that invokes the wrath of the Silver Surfer and Galactus, and it leads to this chase. this faster than light chase where they're going through a wormhole. The Silver Surfer is following. Galactus was also doing a demonstration of just how fucking powerful he can be as well. And it's really cool because during this chase, they all contribute greatly to trying to survive the encounter. Ben is flying the ship, Reed is doing advanced calculations, all while Sue is literally giving birth in a zero-G environment during this faster-than-light chase, and Johnny is manning the guns, shooting at the Silver Surfer, and they have to like change trajectory of the firing because it's wrapping around the wormhole. It is beautiful to look at, and eventually it leads them to a blast.
In the great three-way battle for dominance at the July box office, I don't think many people were given Fantastic Four great odds. Not only was it going up against a juggernaut like the Jurassic World franchise, which somehow keeps churning out billion-dollar movies despite becoming the dinosaur equivalent of the Fast and Furious, only less coherent, but it was also competing directly against James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn, a movie so insanely hyped up that you could almost forget there were actually other films coming out this summer. And it wasn't exactly taking on these competitors from a position of strength either. The MCU is a brand struggling for relevance and direction these days, let down by 2 disappointing flops already this year, and a TV show so terrible that even Marvel tried to bury it for years. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, the film itself was dogged by controversy, rumours of panicked reshoots and rewrites, terrible test screenings, girl bosses and political pandering. And of course, the whole thing was built around Pedro Pascal, the most overexposed and overhyped actor in Hollywood history. All of this is to say that Fantastic Four felt like it was counted out before the fight even began. But here's the funny thing, dear viewer. It's actually pretty fucking good.
You gotta be shitting me!
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
I mean, let's not go nuts here. It's not a great movie by any stretch. It's not going to change the world or save the MCU. Superhero movies totally aren't back because of this one film, and there's definitely issues with it. The antagonists aren't very well developed, there's a bit too much convenience driving the plot forward, and you can tell the third act's been chopped up in editing. But for the most part, I think the good far outweighs the bad in this case. The 4 leads were likeable and easy to get invested in, the plot was simple but effective for building up the stakes and tension, the gloriously retro-futuristic world was a nice break from the visual diarrhea that we're used to seeing, the dreaded Marvel humour was massively toned down, there was no girl bossing or pandering like the rumours suggested. Damn man, even Pedro Pascal did a pretty good job as Reed Richards.
No way!
I can't quite believe I'm saying this about a Marvel movie in 2025, but credit where credit's due, I quite liked Fantastic Four. The movie opens on an alternate version of Earth with a brisk and breezy intro that explains the origin of the Fantastic Four in a quick, simple summary that works neatly in context. Unlike a fucking wall of text, James. After their first journey into space that gave them all superpowers, the team are now heroes and global celebrities who use their powers for the good of humanity. All great stuff, until one day the Silver Surfer crashes the party by announcing that Earth has been marked for death, and Galactus is on his way to eat the fucking planet. Not good news, so the gang head into space with a heavily pregnant Sue Storm to intercept Galactus and either negotiate a peaceful settlement or find a way to destroy him. Galactus easily captures them though and offers them a simple choice: hand over Sue's unborn son and he'll leave Earth alone, or refuse and he'll kill them all and eat their planet anyway.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Naturally, they're not particularly keen on this deal, so they bail the fuck out of there and return to Earth, and for some reason, Reed Richards tells everyone exactly what went down.
You are the dumbest, smart person I have ever met in my life.
Like, how do you imagine they're gonna take it when they realize you're the reason Earth is about to get eaten by a giant cosmic demon gods? Anyway, with Galactus on his way and their popularity on the downslide, the race is on to find a way to either defeat him or escape before he gets there. But does the answer really lie with a desperate plan to hide the entire planet, or does the Silver Surfer hold the key to stopping him? Now, there's a lot I want to say about this film, and for once, I want to start with the good news. Oh, and I'm probably going to dip into spoilers here, so consider yourself warned. Anyway, the first piece of good news is that most of what was leaked about this movie was either wrong or massively exaggerated. Sue Storm isn't some annoying girl boss who dominates every situation. The movie doesn't pander to gender politics or knock down the male characters just to big up the ladies, and the finale isn't just her and the Silver Surfer saving the day single-handed. Everyone gets stuff to do throughout the film. It's very much a team effort, and all four of them have a role to play. Well, maybe not so much the Thing, but really, how much can you do with a fucking walking boulder that punches things? Reed leads the way when it comes to science and technology, while Sue is more of a maternal presence over the team, and that's fine. It's a collaboration, not a competition, which is how it should be. Johnny Storm is way less annoying than the trailers made him out to be, and he's actually pretty smart and makes a key discovery that helps him understand the Silver Surfer's true nature. Yeah, I think the movie could have given them more scenes together to flesh out their relationship, but I'll get more into that later. And believe it or not, I also have to give props to Pedro Pascal.
Fuck.
Whatever you might think of his public persona or Hollywood trying to push him into absolutely everything, one thing you can't deny is that he's a pretty fucking good actor, and when he's given the right role to work with, he can do great things. I actually liked his portrayal of Reed Richards. He's smart, composed and logical, and despite what the rumours would have you believe, he's never pussified or pushed to the side in favour of Sue Storm. There's a real theme of family, loyalty and teamwork running throughout the narrative, and holy shit, after all the weirdly sterile, sexless, joyless, loveless relationship that we've had to put up with in recent years, it was like some wild acid trip to have a movie that revolves around a husband and wife who love each other and the child that they're about to bring into the world. We've actually reached the point where a bog standard nuclear family dynamic is some crazy revolutionary concept now. Another thing I appreciated about Fantastic Four was how removed it was from the rest of the MCU and its bullshit convoluted storylines. For once, I didn't have a laundry list of movies and TV shows I needed to catch up on just to understand what the fuck was even happening here. It's just a neat, self-contained story, and I liked that. On the downside, probably my biggest issue with the film is the Silver Surfer, but not for the reasons you might think. Honestly, I don't much care if she's male or female because she's a fucking space alien made out of liquid metal. My problem is that I wanted the movie to do a bit more with her. I wanted to know more about her mindset and motivations, her personality, how she sees the world and how she feels about what she does. As it stands, she's not in the movie enough for me to form much of an opinion about her at all, and her redemption arc feels kind of unearned because there's a lot of connective tissue missing. Probably because it was left on the cutting room floor, but I'll get back to that shortly. It's much the same problem with Galactus. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks awesome, and Ralph Ineson does great work with the voiceover, even if I wish he would have kept his Yorkshire accent. Hey up lass, give me baby or I'll eat your planet. Ah, that's champion. Again though, the problem is that the movie doesn't tell us a whole lot about him. He's just big and hungry and he eats planets, I guess, and he wants baby Franklin to somehow take over his role one day. Like, I've literally got no idea how that's even meant to work functionally, and I don't get the impression you're meant to think about it too much. It's a testament to how much I enjoyed this film though, that my biggest gripes are the things missing that I wanted to see more of, rather than the stuff already in it that I hated, and I get the impression there was originally a longer cut of this film that gave us more of those all-important character moments and connective scenes. Whether it was a panic in studio trying to course correct after negative feedback, or just a desire for a shorter runtime, I'm not sure, but the end result is a slightly rushed, timid sort of movie that could have been something really special with just a bit, well, more. As it stands though, Fantastic Four is a surprisingly decent movie that does what it does with just enough flair and heart to get you invested, and that probably would have been considered thoroughly mid a decade ago. But in these dark days of cinema, well, it's by far the best superhero film of 2025. Make of that what you will. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
What's up, everybody? This is the Elden Man here, and the flow of time sure is convoluted, isn't it?
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land.
Hard to believe it's already been 2 years since Elden Ring came out, and in my opinion it was nothing short of a masterpiece. Anybody who didn't like Elden Ring had their gamer card officially revoked. Given that From Software has raised the bar with the Dark Souls Trilogy DLC and Bloodborne, we expected this, Shadows of the Erdtree, to be even better somehow. The question is, does it live up to the hype and expectations? The answer's a little more complicated. However, the more things change,
the more they stay the same.
Like every major release in the Soulsborne series, there's some juicy controversy to digest. Once again, the flame has been linked, the Age of Fire continues, and the debate around difficulty has been reignited. Some say Shadows of the Erdtree is too difficult, challenging, the bosses are overtuned. It's bullshit. Many others are content to rely on the age-old saying, get good. You know, those two words are pretty motivating. Wife left you for another man, and you lost your job. Dog died. Get good. Stop crying.
Stop fucking crying, bitch! Where?
But who's right and who's wrong? Is it too challenging or not enough? To be honest, I've seen some pretty fair takes from both sides. I think there's valid praise and criticism for Shadows of the Erdtree, but there's also room for some hot takes. And today, we're going to be looking at some of the spiciest hot takes for Shadow of the Erdtree. Ones that might make you go a little mad. So I'm actually going to take this off because it's really fucking hot in here. And maybe by the end of this video, I'll give you my own hot take. And what better place to start with hot takes than from the man himself, Hidetaka Miyazaki, who says, I'm still in the process of making my ideal fantasy RPG. While Elden Ring is not quite it, it's getting close. What is he smoking? It wasn't quite good enough. Game of the year, not enough for me. You guys realize this man will never stop cooking. Like, he refuses to leave the kitchen. Put the frying pan down, Miyazaki. Just put it down already. Seriously, bro made 7 critically acclaimed masterpieces in a row, and he still has the balls to say, I got one more in me. The thing is, for the Souls series, which I consider Elden Ring to be part of, I don't know how much further the bar can be raised. I think it's time their next project should hopefully be another sidestep like Sekiro or Bloodborne. Something that's completely separate from the, medieval dark fantasy style, and they can get more experimental. Still, I think it's very respectful to still be hungry when you're pretty much at the top, you know what I mean? Like, he's still hungry for more success. Since the discussion around difficulty in Shadow of the Erdtree is so prevalent, I think we should also once again hear from the man himself. Miyazaki on Elden Ring difficulty. I absolutely suck at video games. This guy, by all accounts, should have a massive fucking ego, but he doesn't. And that's what I think is so respectful. He just comes out and says, yeah, I suck at the games I make. Or maybe he's saying that to help people that do suck not feel so shitty about themselves. This next take is in Portuguese, so I don't know if it's a correct translation, but... And there are people who still think Elden Ring is better than Red Dead 2. Oh, yep, see, there it is. There it is. Look at the fire graphics. Look at that. I mean, Elden Ring doesn't have that. You know, it's not like Rockstar actually went through incredible crunch and somewhat horrible working conditions to achieve this level of detail. But we should expect that in every other game too, even when it doesn't matter and it's completely unnecessary. I'm pretty sure this is a shitpost. I've never heard Elden Ring and Red Dead Redemption 2 brought up in the same sentence. Like, were people seriously comparing these two games? But there's this trend on Twitter where people will do these like weird comparison videos between two games that like are absolutely nothing alike. You know, they'll be like, look at the detail in Last of Us 2. Just look at the facial graphics. What about this? No. We're not talking about the story. Just the graphics. Also, look at Aloy's Peach Fuzz. Look at the Peach Fuzz rendering. Wow. It's so much better than Hellblade, the Peach Fuzz. Yeah, I know this is probably troll and a bait, but I'm gonna bite anyways. It's not enough to like their favorite game, they have to find ways to compare it to whatever is popular. Really funny how gamers still haven't realized that realistic graphics are one of the biggest reasons the game industry sucks right now. This is a genuine point though. Yay, your game has a realistic physics engine. In exchange, you will get one game per decade and the game costs over $500 million to develop. One flop and your studio is done for. It's fucking sad. It's a huge risk, game development. Speaking of dumb comparisons, Elden Ring. Create your own character. Make dynamic choices that change the entire story of your character. Open world with 100+ enemy types, 60+ bosses, on-point landscape-driven exploration, lots of interiors, and some of the best reward systems in the game. Reused bosses aren't an issue since it has a ton of boss variety. World design is insane and lore is good. Insane boss roster, amazing open world exploration, incredible Metroidvania, lots of interiors is boundary pushing. Most open world games are unable to use interiors. Shows excellence in terms of world design, art direction, and content. Objectively, the best open world designs out there. So he's glazing. He would probably lick Miyazaki's nutsack if he could. Why is this a hot take? Because compared to The Witcher 3. Kill things. Make choices that barely affect the story. A character either dies or loses relevance in the plot. Repeat for 50 hours. You left out fight monsters, bang hot chicks, get betrayed by them, kill them. Choices that barely affect the story. A character dies? When's that ever been important in storytelling? If you really want to hop into the fire, just go on Facebook. You will find some crazy shit. So I usually laugh at complaining posts, but this time I need to make one. This game would honestly be better if we didn't have to heal. What? I want my full health bar. Let us divide our health in magic bars based on sacred tier level and do away with the stupid flasks. Seriously, the only reason I can't beat some of these bosses is because I constantly have to stop fighting to heal. They're not gonna get rid of a core mechanic that's like healing. Yes, you should be able to heal in the game. You have to make that choice when you're fighting a boss. Do you get greedy or do you back off and try to heal or try to apply a buff? I think there is a point to be made about how small the window of opportunity is in between attacks with certain bosses that like a lot of items and shit you can't really use. There's a point to be made about that, but to like, you want the full health bar? You just want that shit like stacked 14 times on your screen? You know what? Yeah, this is good. This is an improvement for sure. I have to heal up to 14 times per fight. That's ridiculous. Managing my stamina against relentlessly spammed attacks is already enough of a challenge without having to come to a dead stop and endure a painfully slow animation of my tarnished drinking out of a stupid flask. I want to meet this person and I want to watch them play Dark Souls 2 for the first time. And I'm just going to be staring in their eyes, waiting to see their expression. Dark Souls 2 fans be like, yeah, boys, who wants to get fucked up? Beat this boss first try with no summons, but it still doesn't count since I used Blasphemous Blade, apparently. Actually, you're right, that doesn't count. You can't use the things that I don't use. I'm just starting to think that Elden Ring is an easy game, but we have to force a bunch of gameplay rules on ourselves to make it hard. That's the ticket. That's basically Elden Ring. And you can see this in the vast difference between Elden Ring and Sekiro. I think Sekiro is the hardest game From Software has made because you can't bullshit your way through it. You can't just leave this boss and go grind some runes or souls to buff your stats. In Sekiro, the progression is very harshly gated, but in Elden Ring, it's open, it's free. That's the benefit of the open world, is that people have all these tools to fight the enemies with. You could argue the problem is that there's too many tools. It's a hard balance to strike where you're trying to make things that are fun, flashy, and cool, but also make them balanced. Like, if you want to cheese your way through Elden Ring, you can. And if From Software didn't want you to do that, then they wouldn't have put these tools in the game in the first place. That being said, I think there are legitimate criticisms about like how bosses are designed, how levels are designed, the arenas you fight enemies in, and whether or not that's interesting in providing a unique challenge. It's not so much like, I just want to fight a really, really hard boss with a tough moveset. It's also, how do you get to that boss? Do you have to traverse down some fucking poison-infested village to get to a hot spider witch? And is that challenge satisfying when you overcome it? Like, that's kind of the ticket with difficulty in these games. It's never really been about the difficulty. That's always been an expression of the harsh world to immerse players into the game further. For me personally, I enjoy the challenge of learning a boss's moveset and all the proper timings, because when you hit that like 6 dodge combo and you can get through it, you kind of feel like a god. It's the same thing with parrying, timing attacks. It all comes down to timing. No pause button in a single player game is just straight up bad design. I don't care. Well, it's not a single player game, but I get what you're saying, it can be. These games have never had a pause feature and I don't think they ever will. The reason, I think, is because of immersion. Once again, when you cross that fog door, you gotta lock that shit in. You gotta lock in and it's just you and the boss in your world. You can't worry about what your fucking kids are doing. If you got kids,
you may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket.
Little Jimmy's gonna stick a fork in the outlet. Let him fry, okay? Survival of the fittest. Kid that dumb's not gonna be smart enough to beat Elden Ring, so what's the point in raising him? But I think being able to pause like mid-fight would take a lot of wind out of the game's sails. It would take away from the intensity of a boss and your immersion within the game. Like if somebody calls me when I'm fighting a boss in Elden Ring, this is pretty much what I say.
Fuck! Dude! I'm busy! Call back later!
But it's like, it's okay to advocate for more accessibility. I just respectfully disagree that these games should have a pause feature. I think it's funny that Kai Cenat, like the biggest streamer on Twitch, has been playing From Software games for like, what, 2 months? And he understands these games better than some longtime FromSoft fans.
It's a skill issue. I'm assing your ass. But your ass though. Cause you really like say this too hard. Nigga, put your big boy pants on, go out there and go fight. Like what are you talking about? If you went through all that hassle 2 years ago, why the fuck would they make a DLC for you to breeze past and be done with in a day or two?
Guys, we're complaining about difficulty and challenge. You know the drill. We don't fuck around here. I mean, okay, we bitch, we moan, we break our controllers, we give up, we call it quits, and then we boot up the game the next day, okay? Until that fucking boss is dead on the ground forever. Booyah! Woo! It would be disappointing if Shadow of the Erdtree didn't ramp up the difficulty. If we all just breezed through it, that would be pretty shitty. And I think that's the reason why FromSoft forced players to beat Moog to gain access to the DLC. Because if you can beat Moog, you can beat every other boss in the game, I think. Moog's pretty fucking hard. So at this point, when you enter the DLC, you're supposed to basically have all tools at your disposal. That's the grounds that you should be confronting this challenge on. But I need some spicier takes, and I think I have just the answer. Now this video is from a very small creator, so I'm not sure if I want to show his channel name or the title of the video, because I don't want to inadvertently send a bunch of hate his way. But I feel like he's so entertaining, I have to talk about him.
So I've been thinking a little bit about Elden Ring lately, kind of how quickly it's fallen off, how it's irrelevant, how the DLC hasn't salvaged the game.
He just hit me with 8 stuns in 8 seconds. What did he say?
Kind of how quickly it's fallen off, how it's irrelevant, how the DLC hasn't salvaged the game.
How quickly it's fallen off, how irrelevant it is. This has to be masterful trolling because right out the gate, I'm already angry.
There have been really interesting lines of thought that have come from thinking about this game and the attempts at making this a cultural phenomenon.
Why does this guy feel like he's like Phil Spencer's son or something? Am I crazy? I feel like he talks kind of like him.
There's been a lot of damage control in regards to the difficulty, right? People are trying to gaslight those who criticize the DLC as simply having been filtered by the difficulty. Like, nobody is complaining about the difficulty in Shadows of the Erdtree, in my experience. The game is easy, it's simple, it's a breeze to get through.
He's fucking trolling. He's trolling me. There's no way. If you take what he says at face value, it makes me mad. Makes me want to convert to the Church of the Frenzied Flame.
Seeing like the response to my my criticisms of like the DLC and the base game and FromSlop as a whole, I kind of get
FromSlop.
I've long talked about how other video game titles are far more hardcore and intense than anything FromSlop has ever done. You know, I've talked about Super Monkey Ball, Monster Hunter, and stuff like that.
More intense, and he brings up Super Monkey Ball. But is he wrong? Bro, how this guy can say all this stuff with a straight face, like, I respect it.
Something that I think really needs to be addressed, that needs to be brought up, is that Elden Ring is absolutely easier than the Dark Souls games.
No. Bro, he knows his shit because he knows everything he's saying is gonna be like super inflammatory. It's gonna spark wild debates. Like if I said that, there would be hundreds of comments being like, "You're wrong, Act-Man." Like this guy knows his craft. Like it's uncut. There's no editing. He only calls From Software FromSlop. This is a good troll.
Like the game has been casualized. The fact that this is only just dawning on me now really just goes to show you just how little respect FromSlop fans have for the older Dark Souls games, right? They don't talk about them, they don't play about them at all, they don't care.
They don't play, they don't talk about, they don't care about the old Dark Souls games. Like, I know it's a troll, but I still want to debate him on that.
There isn't really much of a push to debate as to whether or not Elden Ring is better than Dark Souls, right? Aside from PlayStation fanboys who will advocate for Bloodborne being better, there is no real discourse on whether or not like FromSlop has been falling off or not.
Saying this like just 2 years after they won Game of the Year and then releasing Shadows of the Erdtree to the reception it's gotten, it's just crazy. It's wild to say that they've fallen off at the height of their power.
And I find that really, really interesting, that everything FromSoft does is seen by the community as simply being better and more difficult. Like, we saw that with the DLC, right? Where everybody is trying to say that Shadow of the Erdtree is far harder than the base game of Elden Ring. But is it harder than Dark Souls? Is it harder than Demon Souls?
Those are actually interesting questions, because depending on how and when you played those games, like I started with Dark Souls 1, then Demon Souls 2, 3, and then I played them in order. And playing them in that order, like each one was challenging in a completely different way that it's really hard to describe which one was harder. Wow. A shitpost that makes you think. Wow, that's crazy.
You know, it's not as hard as Monkey Ball, I can tell you that much. But, like, when you really sit there and really think about, when you really start to think about, like, wow, nobody I know is playing the DLC or cares about it at all, you know, like, when you really start to, like, look at, like, oh, 5 million units sold, that's great, except, you know, that's probably the absolute peak it's gonna get, right? You know, it fell off very quickly after that.
Yeah, it fell off after 5 million sales. Wow, this has been a real treat.
Like, there wasn't some major resurgence of interest in Elden Ring, and
you see what I'm saying? He's so good at, I'm just gonna be reiterating myself if we continue watching this. I'm just